Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Toya, and I am back with another episode of the By Default Black Doctor Spotlight. And like I've said many times before, we don't only focus on doctors who are doing clinical medicine because we are out here doing all sorts of different things. And now I have a special guest, Dr. Janeeka Benoit, also known as Dr. J. She is the negotiation coach for professional women of color. And I'm so excited because her energy is just, oh, you'll see. All right. So welcome, Dr. J. It's been a long time coming. I'm so glad you were able to make it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Dr. Toya.
Yes. So before we get into your negotiation, coaching, and all that, tell our viewers a little bit more about you, your background, where you're from, all that.
Yes, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. BK, stand up. My parents are of Haitian descent, so I have a Caribbean background.
Mhm.
And I currently work as a double board certified internal medicine and sports medicine physician.
Too fast. I just want to make sure all the credentials are clear. Say
Okay,
that again. You are a
double board.
double.
So double board certified internal medicine and sports medicine physician.
That's right. Okay.
Yes, and on the side, I am the negotiation coach for professional women of color. So that's me in a very small nutshell.
Yes, well, let's break that nutshell open. Please
Yes.
tell us your story. How did you get here? Because you went through quite a bit of evolution. I've known Dr. J for quite some time. So tell us all.
Okay, so my story starts in, so this is when I graduated from fellowship. This is June of 2021.
Mhm.
And in 2021, as you all know, we were still in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. And at that time, I still did not have a job.
Mhm.
So at this point, I have gone through 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, a year of residency, 1 year of sports medicine fellowship, and still I do not have a job. And you think that after going through all that training, you'll be able to find a job very quickly because as a physician, there is job security.
Mhm.
No, I could not find a job as a sports medicine physician. Even prior to me graduating, leading up to me graduating, I was calling universities because at that time I wanted to be a head team sports medicine physician. So I was calling universities, I was emailing universities. And it got to the point where I had to physically show up at some sports medicine clinics. And I remember specifically this one sports medicine clinic I drove to. I didn't even tell them that I was coming because I emailed, I called, no one was following back with me. And I was like, you know what? I'm not really sure. And there were a lot of emotions going at that time because
Yeah.
I had spent this long relationship with medicine, right? It really
Yeah.
feels like you're in a relationship. But at this point, it felt like I was like heartbroken, right?
Mhm.
And I was doing everything everything that was within me to salvage this heartbreak that I was feeling.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me pull up to this spot, right? So I pulled up and I went to the back with the manager of the clinic and we had a great conversation and I'm thinking, oh, like this went really well. Definitely going to land a job here. And I drive back home, and she said that she would call me back in a couple of days. A couple of days pass, ain't nobody call me. So I call her, like, what's good? I ain't really say that, but my energy in my spirit was like, what's good?
Right.
Okay. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm not hiring any sports medicine physicians here. I'm only hiring orthopedic surgeons and
Mm.
PAs. And I literally I felt like shattered glass. That's how
Mhm.
I felt. I just felt completely shattered because I have spent so much of my time and
Mhm.
energy in medicine getting to this point and I'm still not able to secure a job for myself as a sports medicine physician. And and I felt at that point I just had to surrender. I had to surrender to God because I was doing everything. I exhausted every measure that was there for me, and there was nothing else for me to do. I did everything that I could do, and I was like, God, like, where do you want me to go? And then that's when I went into locum tenens. And
Mhm.
it's locum tenens, when I became a locum tenens physician, these recruiters were asking me all these questions. I didn't know how to answer them. I
Right,
did not. They were asking me what rate you wanted, where you want to stay, like all these
right.
questions. I did not know how to answer them. And it brought me back to when I was a little girl, being that shy little black girl.
Shy.
I, yes,
You.
yes, I was shy. I know it's very shocking now. This has been this has been developing. The person that you see now has been developed over time.
Okay.
Yes, but I was very shy. I was a shy girl, and I grew up in predominantly white institutions. And
Mhm.
then think about now going into professional training, my physician's training, ain't nobody look like me. So in my professional life and throughout school, I had a tendency to stay quiet, to
Yep.
stay in the back, because society has taught us, professional women, black women, to be small, to
Yep.
shrink ourselves, right? So when I was negotiating, that's how I felt like. I'm like, I don't know what to say. It brought me back to being that shy little black girl. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to speak up. I don't know how to advocate for myself. I don't know how to defend myself. I don't want to be too much. I don't want to be too loud. I don't want to be all these things because society has taught me that I got to stay put,
Mm-hmm.
right? And through the process of learning how to negotiate and learning how to deal with this shy little black girl that I still had harbored inside of me, I found my value. I found my value, and that is where I negotiate. I negotiate for my value, but I had to determine that for myself,
Right.
because throughout my professional training, I didn't I didn't fully understand and
Yeah.
grasp what that was. And that is how I became to be the negotiation coach for professional women of color. It's helping us find our voice, helping us be firmly rooted in our value, and negotiating from the strength of our voices, because society has always told us to stay small, not speak up, and be quiet. But we ain't doing that no more.
Right. Um, oh, see, I told y'all the energy. You want her as the negotiation coach for you. So just to go back a bit for people who don't know, what is locum tenens?
So, locum tenens, basically, a locum tenens physician is a physician who basically fills in
Mhm.
in the presence of an absence. For example, if there is a physician who is on medical leave, then I, as a locum tenens physician, would fill in for that physician. Or if there is a physician on maternity leave, then I, as a locum tenens physician, will fill in for that physician.
Yeah, and I feel like going through the process, because that is what I'm doing currently. I left my corporate medicine job and doing locums now as well. And dealing with the recruiters definitely helped me develop that negotiation skill.
Mhm.
So let me tell y'all, if that's how she developed her skills, she is the negotiation coach for you, because no one is more cutthroat than a physician recruiter. Because
Hmm.
in general, for anybody outside the field, the way we are viewed is that we don't know business and we don't know our worth and we're taken advantage of. And
Mhm.
that's all physicians, right? And
Mhm.
it's by design. We are trained to be that way. We are laser
Mhm.
focused on the medicine. We have
Mhm.
hearts of gold. We like to serve. So
Mhm.
they feel like they can take advantage of us. The fact that you were able to realize your value and negotiate for what you wanted in that particular situation, I just feel like I just wanted to explain so people know that you are qualified. You are overqualified for this because it was like trial by fire,
It
right?
is. It really is.
Yeah, so tell us more about what you offer as the negotiation coach for professional women of color.
Yeah, so really my negotiation, I have a negotiation coaching program, and the way that I negotiate is very different from what you see out on like mainstream negotiation. This is a negotiation program that I have created for us. It has us on top of mind. You know, what you see on mainstream negotiation is basically what you can offer them. So there's an exchange that goes on. But I first start my clients with helping them understand what their value is. Because, especially as a professional woman of color, and as you go up the professional hierarchy, there are less of us around. There is a tendency for us to feel small and feel quiet. And also, there's a tendency to compare ourselves to our white counterparts. So I start with helping my clients get firmly rooted in their value. They need to understand, they need to grasp who they are, because it is very easy to assign our value to our professional titles. We actually do it very frequently. Okay, so really understanding what your value is extremely important when you are negotiating. The next thing is helping them understand, after them, being firmly rooted in their value, understanding what their values are. Because when you understand your values, you will learn how to say no with ease and quickly, right?
Yep.
It is very clear, because you understand your value, you're firmly grounded in your value, and you know your values. You can say no with ease, and you will understand, because you know your values, you will be able to seek opportunities that align with your values. So I never liked like I stated earlier, oh, what you can offer them and what they can. I didn't like that, because as professional women of color, we constantly compared ourselves to our white counterparts. We constantly did. We always thought, okay, what else do we have to do to prove ourselves? Now we tired of that. We're not doing that no more. Okay, we're not doing that anymore. That's why I focus on your value and your values, because once you understand your value and your values, you will learn how to align yourself with opportunities that align with your values. And that's it. It's not like, oh, what can I offer them? No, you're already the ish. You already have it going on. We don't need to do that, because we've been doing that.
Right.
Okay. And then the third thing is then curating your vision, right? Because the purpose of negotiating, as it pertains to us, is to create freedom, right? A lot of us feel bound to our jobs, and because of that, it has impacted the way that we live personally. So it's being able to curate your professional life, which impacts your personal life, which can create freedom for you, because that is what you deserve ultimately, is freedom. So it's creating that vision for yourself. And the verbiage when you're negotiating, you know, out in mainstream negotiation, there's like, oh, what you should say, different questions to ask. There's all these negotiation rules. No, when you know your values, when you know your vision, you will know what to say.
Right.
You will know what to say.
Yeah.
So that is how I create my negotiation coaching program, and it has us in mind. You know why? Because going through this profession, ain't nobody was really thinking about us. So this is for us by someone who looks like us, to help us create freedom, and we do that through owning the power of our voices.
And let me tell y'all, she is not just speaking this. Tell us, where have you traveled to this year, Dr. J? For the freedom that you have had.
Oh. Girl, I so many places. I went to Austin, Texas. I was in Bali. I was in 3 weeks in Bali in a private villa. Okay, I was in Cancun 2 weeks ago. I took 6 weeks off just because.
Again, just to make sure y'all know, this is not just talk, right? She is living proof. She is doing what she says and living a life of freedom. So this is definitely the negotiation coach for you, right? I just wanted to, put a little bit of your business out there, but I think that was important to share. So is it that you serve, when you say professional woman of color, not just physicians, right? Any professional woman?
Yes, any
Okay.
professional woman.
Okay, perfect. I still want to know, what does it mean to you to be a Black physician, to have made this transition to being a coach? what does that mean to you doing the work that you're doing?
Man, honestly, it feels like I'm walking in my purpose, right? With I knew that I wanted to create a business ever since I was a second year internal medicine resident. I wasn't sure what that was going to be, and my idea has changed many times.
Mhm.
But I knew that it was something that had to serve people who look like me.
Yeah.
It just had
Yeah.
to. It had to serve people who look like me. And given my experiences with learning how to negotiate and now creating the life that I have now, it is now my moral obligation
Mm.
to help those who look like me experience the same thing.
All right. Enough said. Okay, that's it. Interview done. What else is there to say? All right. So, is there anything else that you want people to know about you or your program?
If you're a professional woman of color who is listening to this, I know sometimes it can be very easy to stay stuck and siloed in our struggles.
Mm.
And I just want to let you know that my coaching program is a safe space
Mhm.
because it has you on top of mine. It is a safe space. It is a place where you can fully be vulnerable and share parts of yourself that you're not able to share in your professional work environment.
Yeah.
And freedom is available to you. What I'm creating with my coaching program is freedom for us because freedom is what we deserve as professional women of color.
Yes, I love it. I love it. But before we go, tell all of viewers where they can find you and your program.
Yes, yes. So I am on Instagram. The best way to find me is on Instagram. I am at Sis Negotiates. Ooh, I just love the IG name. Sis Negotiates with an S on Instagram. And there, if you go to my link tree on my bio, you'll also see my podcast, which is Negotiate to Freedom.
Nice.
And yes, so that is where you can find me and stay connected.
All right, perfect. And you could also find her on bydefault.com. We don't just list doctors that are doing clinical medicine because there are a lot of us out here doing amazing things that also serve the community. And our goal at By Default is to bring together all of these services, the products, the professionals, so that you can live your best whole melanated life. And that includes things like negotiation, health, wellness, everything, right? So I wanted to make sure that we highlight all of our physicians that are doing these amazing things because we're doing it for you, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. J. It was a pleasure as always.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you for creating and curating this community
Yeah.
for us. I mean, as soon as I remember when I learned about By Default, I thought, oh my gosh, like this is such a unique way of just getting us all together,
Yeah.
learning about what we're doing in our businesses. So thank you for creating this for us.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And every time I talk to somebody, and it's just like the mission aligns, right? We're all in the same wavelength. It warms my heart and it makes me feel like I am also walking in my purpose. So
Yes,
thank you again.
you're so welcome.
All right, guys, that's it. I will see you on the next episode of the By Default Black Doctor Spotlight. Bye.